just gonna be shiny for this video. This video is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Hello, my name is Echo. Welcome to a different corner, it's the same corner, of my room. I moved my desk. Again, because I'm indecisive. As you may or may not know, I do art professionally here on the internet, and lately I've been generally uninspired. 2020 is no one's year, apparently. So a while back, I bought this book. It's 365 Days of Art by Lorna Scobie. So far, it's a pretty cool book. Also, I'm trying affiliate links, so if you would like to buy this book for yourself, you can click the link down in the description. It doesn't make it cost anymore or anything. And today I just want to show you some of the drawings that I did. So the first page that I flipped to was actually 141. Observe your reflection and draw what you see. This prompt actually worked out kind of perfectly because I have a giant wall mirror right in front of me. So when I looked straight out at the mirror, I could see my camera and myself drawing. I was wearing a nice shirt that day. Usually when I'm filming overhead stuff, I put no effort into my appearance and I'll tie my hair back really tight so that it's out of my face while I draw. I also had my door open, which is it kind of looks like a weird drawing mistake almost, but it's actually just my door right up against the mirror. I decided to draw this with graphite because for me it's easiest to capture still life in graphite because you can blend. I really like the look of gel pen ink, but when it comes to still life, graphite is probably the best in my opinion. Maybe charcoal, but charcoal's messy. Rather than flip to another page, I also decided to do number 142, which was draw your favorite animal. I think my favorite animal is a raccoon. Raccoons are really cute. I feel like there's never been an animal asking to be domesticated the way raccoons are. Like, raccoons are so ready to live inside and eat garbage and just sleep on our floors. So these are just kind of freeform sketches. I used a couple references, but the very last drawing in the middle and the bottom was just a full-on cartoon. And I drew it wrapped in a blanket because I was having issues drawing the body, and that made it easier. Yeah, raccoons are good. Honestly, this one was kind of just a bunch of doodles. The first one was something I invested more time in. Welcome to my art game. Then I flipped the book to 205. Add plants to the pots. I feel like a lot of these prompts use watercolor starters, and I hadn't really done any watercolor in this book, so I decided to go ahead and throw some watercolor at this. Even though I know it's gonna wrinkle the page and look kind of awful, I've decided to embrace the chaos. So I could have used my really fancy, nice Arteza watercolor set, but I was going through a bunch of my old stuff and I found this really old watercolor set that I bought on discount and never used, so I figured I would go ahead and try it. Generally, when you're painting with watercolor, I have been told that you're supposed to work from the lightest color to the darkest color, which I think makes sense. A lot of my art is very clean and crisp and precise, so I'm not used to just making an art mess, which is fine, except it's kind of limiting my potential as an artist, and I want to try and branch out and do more mess. I made some dying grass and roses, a cactus. I'm pretty happy with this, except for the weird fire plant bush thing. They're like chili peppers. I don't know what I was going for with that one. That one wasn't good. Also, when I flip to this page now, I can't tell which part is printed, and oh, I can feel it though. So after I declared my watercolor on watercolor a success, I decided to try and replicate the effects on number 23. Fill the page with colored dots. This one was done with colored pencil, so why not just do that? I got to use some of my multicolored pencils, which I have many and I know I'm not going to get through because they're semi-useless. I don't really know how to use them in a way that makes sense. Multicolored pencils are more like a fun stationery rather than a real art supply. This one kind of ended up being like one of those more meditation-y kind of drawing things. There's no real thought in this one. Also, this is what I mean by my gravitation to order. If you'll notice, all of my colored pencils are rubber banded by brand. This is how much I need order in my life. Number 24, color in the stripes. So I have a bunch of metallic colored pencils that I want to make a video on eventually, but I decided to go ahead and just use them to color in these stripes, which was probably a bad idea because you don't realize how much pressure you put when you're working with colored pencils until you have to fill in a big space like this. This page hurt my hand so much that I had to stop drawing for the day. I also miscounted and had to leave out one of the colors. The look of it is very interesting. It doesn't look as metallic as you feel like it should. It's like a little shiny, but for the most part, I feel like metallic colored pencils, they don't really live up to the hype white, but maybe I'm just using not that great ones. Maybe I should try and buy some expensive metallic colored pencils and see how that goes. Is that a video you would be interested in seeing? Metallic colored pencils, for the most part, do not get my personal seal of approval. Number 21, what is your favorite simple thing to eat? Write or draw it here. So, I don't know if this is necessarily a good thing, but pretty much almost like every morning I eat this, like a small bowl of cream of wheat. When I wake up, my stomach is not settled and like I don't want to eat things. And cream of wheat is a very like simple digestible food, so I usually just do a small bowl of cream of wheat every morning so that I can take my medication. I have to take my medicine with food. And then to make it more healthy, I put a spoonful of flaxseed, a spoonful of powdered peanut butter, a little bit of allspice, a little bit of cinnamon, and a couple spoonfuls of sugar because I'm a wimp. My dear British friend Chloe has told me that cream of wheat is not a thing in the UK. If you are British, do you know what cream of wheat is? I'm curious. And if not, please guess in the comments. With this one I felt like drawing with like some of my favorite 0.3 gel pens. So I drew it all out in pencil and then went over it with my really nice pen that I got from Wish. I feel like that's a pretty normal breakfast. I don't know if it's great to have it every day, but it settles my stomach and everything is fine. It's great. Number 22, what made you smile today? Draw or write it here. So this is actually something that I posted on my art Instagram, and I did edit it a little bit to color in the hair and the headband for this one. But recently I have been very, very into gardening. I've planted and killed probably like 100 plants at this point. I have a melon plant and a squash plant producing fruit right now, so I'm gonna survive the apocalypse, guys. So anyway, because I've been very into gardening and trying to escape this plane of existence, I've been very into homesteading YouTube, but in particular a channel called Roots and Refuge Farm. Roots and Refuge Farm is this small homestead that's run by this girl Jessica and her husband, and she has like 4 or 5 kids, and she's got this massive garden that's beautiful, and she does like daily vlogs just showing what's going on around her farm, and she documents how all of her plants are doing week by week. Surprisingly useful information to see how something should be growing. And then she also just kind of like pops off these words of wisdom just out of nowhere. She's such a beautiful resource. I love her channel. Anyway, there was the point where she was finally getting ready to harvest potatoes, but as she was digging, the ground was full of bugs and earthworms, and she caught herself being scared on camera. It was really funny and it was really wholesome, so I just decided to draw her because she's just the sweetest bean. Also, because she daily vlogs, she has endless hours of content that I can leave on playing in the background. So if you want to learn about farming and homesteading and all that fun stuff, I recommend Roots and Refuge. After that, I flipped to page 157. Draw the ingredients of your favorite sandwich. Okay, this one's gonna be weird. It's a very unorthodox sandwich, but it's something that I have been eating since I was about 10 years old. One of my all-time favorite foods in the universe is avocados. I know, I'm such a millennial. Half an avocado between 2 slices of bread with some salt, maybe some Doritos if you're feeling adventurous. The greatest sandwich, just avocado and salt. You don't need anything else. Also, word to the wise, if you live in a state that borders Mexico, buy your avocados from a Mexican grocery store. Mexican avocados are way cheaper than Californian avocados because they ripen faster, but they're vastly cheaper. Instead of paying like 86 cents for an avocado, I have seen avocados at Food City for like 10 for $1. Okay, that's my 2 cents on avocados. With this one, I drew everything in pencil and then went over it with watercolor and then did all of the lines in ink afterwards. So this is the first one where I actually combined watercolor and an ink line, and I like the way it came out even though I'm still not a fan of watercolor texture. Before we go any further in this video, I want to talk to you about the lovely company that is sponsoring it, ExpressVPN. I have wanted to make a video with a VPN company for quite some time because I love the internet, but I also really don't trust you. I don't know who you are. Who are you? I'm sure most of you know what a VPN is at this point, but just in case you don't, a really solid example of what a VPN is like an envelope. I could send a postcard to my sister about all of the really awesome squash that I'm growing in the backyard, but the postman doesn't need to know that. I don't need him hopping my fence and stealing my zucchini. So all I need to do is take that fancy little postcard and stick it in a nice little VPN envelope, and my zucchinis are safe to ripen another day. And your information on the interwebs is the same way. You don't need people stealing your identity and credit card information on the internet, now do you? Also, because you have no idea how much internet you don't have access to until you get a VPN. Sometimes my friends from the British side of the internet will have live chat movie nights, and they'll want to watch the whole Twilight series, but uh-oh, guess what's not on the American Netflix? But what's that? ExpressVPN told the internet that my computer was in Britain the whole time? Well, would you look at that? I can now suffer through the entire Twilight series with my once European friends. If you go to expressvpn/echo or click the link in my description, you can find out how to get 3 months for free of free access to ExpressVPN. For reals though, you probably should get a VPN. It makes your internet experience better, but it also keeps you safe in more ways than you probably realize. Take it from me, your internet aunt. Use protection so your data stays safe. I love you. Now back to the video. Create some watercolor or paint splodges. What could they become? A creature, a pattern? So working with watercolor, I made a bunch of weird shapes and it really deformed the paper. I let it dry for a while and then I did what I could, but this prompt was not my favorite. I had a difficult time seeing things in the shapes, which is weird for me. So I ended up making a couple weird animals, some scenery. I don't know what is up with this weird duck with a beard. Maybe if I really just soaked the page, I could have had more luck, but I don't know. I wasn't really that into it. That and the shapes that I came up with were just not that great. The other ones were very good. I don't think any of the other ones were really that bad. I think this one I was just having a really difficult time with though. And even though this was the 9th drawing that I did, this is where I decided to stop. I will put links to this book and a bunch of the art supplies that I regularly use down in the description. I think that's everything for now. I'm gonna go edit this video and then take a nap. Thank you for coming with me on this fun artistic journey. I'm gonna give you 1,000 awesome points for making it all the way to the end of this video. I hope that you have a wonderful night and I will see you later. Goodbye. Be safe on the internet, please. Thank you. That is all.